Good morning, everyone. My name is Dipali Gulsrest, and on behalf of AWS User Group Delhi NCR, I welcome you all to this Cloud Practitioner Bootcamp series. I also have Rajat Arora and Jatin Goyal with me. This session will be conducted by our community member Jatin Goyal, and Jatin is a champion AWS authorized instructor, having more than 3 years of experience working as a trainer and 8 years of experience in IT industry. Jatin is holding all three associate level certifications along with practitioner, essential, and data analytics specialty. Jatin is an active member of AWS Reskill community. Without further ado, over to you, Jatin.
Thanks a lot, Dipali, for the quick introduction. Very good morning, everyone, and a very warm welcome to this boot camp of AWS Cloud Practitioner, which we have planned for today. So soon we are going to start our session, and I'm going to give an overview what we are going to cover. Okay. So as Dipali has already introduced me in front of you, okay. So let me just have a quick introduction with respect to what I am going to help you out as a part of this boot camp series. So we are here to learn AWS and we are here to explore more about AWS services. Our major goal, our major agenda will be with respect to cloud practitioner. Okay. So now let me help you out very quickly with the presentation which we are going to cover. Please allow me a minute. Okay. Yes. So this is my screen. I hope my screen will be visible to all of you. So we are going to talk about AWS as a cloud provider. Okay. Now, before starting this today's session, let me give you a big picture. What big picture I want to present in front of you. So, see, like when we are working in industries or when we are doing our day to day college education, if we are doing a graduation or if we are already applying for jobs, the one big question which is always there in front of us, like what is a job role on which we have to apply? So nowadays, you would be seeing that in the market, cloud computing is one of the emerging technology. Okay. And whenever we appear for the interview, there are always two things. One is that you have to present yourself as a fresher if you are new to the technology or if you have just now completed your education. Or second thing is if you're already an experienced professional and you have to switch to different technology, is that like how you are going to showcase your experience. Okay. So when I talk about big picture, I always divide the experience and I always divide how we are going to present ourselves into two ways. One is gaining credentials and another is real time hands-on. Okay. Because any interviewer, any company always look for a professional who has good experience in a particular set of services or as per the job descriptions. Okay. So big picture, which I want to share with all of you, that is different AWS certifications. So this is a link. If you will type on the browser AWS certification, so you will be navigated to AWS website where you can see the list of certifications. So these are all the list of certifications starting from foundational to associate, then professional, and finally we have some specialty level certifications. Okay. If we are new to any particular technology, obviously we should start with a foundational level certification. Now, certification is one of the very good way to add credentials in your profile. Let's say on a daily basis, we follow LinkedIn. We use LinkedIn for getting some job posts, for getting some important posts, which can be help us out in order to explore, in order to grow ourselves in a career. Okay. So whenever we are showcasing our credentials, showcasing our certification on a profile, it's going to create the links. It's going to establish the communications with the other members. Maybe those can be a community members for a specific provider, or those can be the members which are belonging to a particular company, which can help you out to attain that job role. Okay. So certification should always be your short-term goal. Means, let's say you are planning 2 weeks of journey or 3 weeks of journey for a preparation, appear for the certification and then add that in your profile. What should be your long-term goal? Your long-term goal should always be to explore a particular framework, a particular technology, and to gain as much as hands-on you can. Okay, so that you always have to keep in your mind. Now, when it comes to like how we can plan for our short-term goal and how we can plan for our long-term goal, for planning for any of the goal, you need direction. Okay. direction, you need a track to start with. And why we have conducted this bootcamp series. We have conducted this bootcamp series to help you out for a short-term goal as well as for a long-term goal. Okay. So first thing which I am going to talk about in today's session, that will be introduction to cloud computing. Before starting anything, before giving an idea about any service, any particular framework, we should be aware about why this technology is emerging in the market or why industries are using this. Is there any specific reason that why industries are using this? So let me put a question in front of you. Obviously, I can see the comments. Okay. So the question I have to all of you, that is, can any one of you help me out? Like, what is cloud computing? Or if I will put this question in a very specific manner, I can say why companies are using cloud computing. Any idea? Anyone has? Anyone wants to put something in comment? Just give a try. There is nothing right and wrong. Okay, I'll wait for 2 minutes.
Uh, Jatin, can you please share the slides or something? Because
Yes.
as of now, screen is pretty haphazard. Thank you.
Sorry, Dipali. Yeah. So can any one of you please come out? What is cloud computing? What do you think? Like why industries are adopting cloud computing? Let me put that in a very specific manner. Any idea? Okay, let me help you out. Let's understand that with a very good example. So see, like if I'm talking about one keyword called traditional model or traditional infrastructure, what used to happen in traditional infrastructure? Let's take an example of insurance company. If I will use this example, if I will ask you a very simple question, if any company has to start a business, has to start their services, they have to come up with some assumptions. Assumptions can be with respect to how many resources they have to procure, or what is the amount of capital they have to invest, and what will be their user base or customer base. Okay, these two things they always have to come up with. Okay, means here we are guessing the capacity. Although let's say if I am not aware about consistency of my business, consistency of my services, I still have to guess some capacity. I should have my resources ready before I'm hiring the employees, before I'm starting to develop the applications and launching them in the market. Okay, one thing, I'm taking it as a challenge. Why I'm taking it as a challenge, I'll tell you. The second thing which I believe, that is, if I will again use the same company or any domain which you like, you can take that domain. I say that this company is focusing on two things: business growth and infrastructure, or let's say resources provisioning. Why I'm writing this? If I'm talking about traditional model, if I am owning something, it means I will have to look towards the maintenance of that thing. Okay, similar thing is here. In traditional model, when company is owning their infrastructure, they need to take care about the resource provisioning, they need to take care about maintenance of their infrastructure. Okay, that is increasing the time for what? Time for launching the products in the market or coming in the market. Nowadays, when there is a huge competition, you can see that on every day, even like you can say every hour, we can see a new framework, we can see a new change, a new upgrade in any of the technology. So there is always a need that we should come early in the market. We should satisfy our customers on the basis of feedback we are getting. But think about, just compare that with your day to day life. If I'm asking you to divide your 24 hours into two different things, okay, obviously you will be able to focus less on one particular thing. The similar thing is here. In traditional model, when companies were using this type of adoption where they were looking for business growth as well as resource provisioning, they had to divide their time, they had to divide their capacity into multiple things. Okay, but with the help of cloud computing, with the introduction of cloud computing, now companies are outsourcing the infrastructure provisioning to a cloud provider. And that is a major reason companies are adopting or companies are moving towards the cloud computing. Okay. So cloud computing, if I have to say, it's a framework. It's a culture which companies are adopting. Now, if someone asks this question, if we are planning to learn cloud computing, do we have to come up with a prerequisite? Should we always be from a technical background? So see, when you are starting something, obviously you have to learn few things before you are starting that thing. So if someone will ask me this question, my answer will be you should have some basic knowledge on Linux and you should be aware about what are the different job roles in IT industry. Okay. If you have this picture clear in your mind, you can start with the cloud computing because cloud computing is the extension of your day-to-day work. If I am a working professional, I'm working in IT industry already on one of the role, then cloud computing is the extension of my work. I'm a developer. Now I am using different tools, different services to follow the same thing which I was doing before. Okay, so that is extension. So I have to give you the definition now. I have taken the definition here into two parts. Okay, so there are two different definitions I have taken. The first definition which I want to present in front of you, that is cloud computing is the on-demand delivery of IT resources over the internet with pay-as-you-go pricing. Okay, why I have highlighted these keywords? Maybe you would be thinking that you have highlighted the entire definition, but these are the important keywords. Why I feel that? Let me explain. See, when I'm saying cloud computing resources over the internet with pay as you go pricing, what all keywords I have picked from here? On demand, IT resources, over the internet, and finally, you can say with pay as you go. Okay, and now try to relate that with your day-to-day work. Just now I told you by taking an example of an insurance domain, if I have to start a business, if I have to start a company, I have to come up with some assumptions. I have to come up that these are the resources and this will be my customer base. But here it is saying on demand. Whenever you need, you can ask for that. And obviously, you don't have to follow a big hierarchy. You have a timeline that when your resources will be ready. It's not like the traditional infrastructure. Today, I have requested for a server. I don't know, is my server going to be ready to be used in next 1 day, in next 1 week, in next 1 month? Here I can get my resources in fraction of minutes, or I can say as fast as possible. So on demand means whenever I need, I can get that. Okay. IT resources, let's take it as servers. Okay, I believe servers are everywhere. Either I am doing some computing, either I'm storing something, either I'm performing day-to-day transactions, I need servers for that. Over the internet, online, no need to go anywhere, no need to visit anywhere. As we were doing in the traditional model, if I have to get a server, I'll have to purchase a hardware. I'll have to install that hardware in a data center, in a facility. But that's not my job here. I am only using the services. That's the job of service provider. And with pay as you go means as much I am using, I am paying that much only. Okay. It's not like that. If I have procured a server, although I am using or not using, I have already invested the capital. Here I am only paying for what I am using. So these are a few important keywords when we talk about the cloud computing definition. Now, one more definition for a simplicity, which I have taken for you, that is already derived from the definition I have given just now. You can see that. And that is, it enables you to stop thinking of your infrastructure as hardware and instead think of it as a software. When I am not going anywhere, when I am not purchasing a physical server, it means I am not considering my infrastructure now as a hardware. I'm accessing the resources online. So for me, everything is in terms of software. Okay. These are two definitions of cloud computing which I have taken in front of you. In the meantime, let me quickly check if there is any question. Very good. I can see there are very good answers in the chat. Pointer So that is what are the advantages of cloud computing. There can be a lot of advantages, and people usually come up with security, low maintenance cost. Okay, but as I mentioned you, the major reason why companies are adopting the cloud computing is increased speed and agility. It's not denying the fact that you are going to get a security, you are going to get a platform where you don't have to worry about underlying infrastructure. But along with all these things, the major pointer is increased speed and agility. So some of the pointers I have taken with respect to advantages: trade capital expenses for variable expenses, benefits from massive economies of scale, stop guessing the capacity, increase speed and agility, stop spending money running and maintaining data centers, and go global in minutes. Okay, let's quickly talk about all these advantages one by one. If I talk about trade capital expense for variable expense, it's very simple. Pay only when you consume and pay only for what you consume. I am not procuring any resources like I was doing in the traditional infrastructure. So here I am only paying for whatever capacity I am consuming and when I am consuming. So pay as you go. That is trade capital expense for variable expense. If I talk about benefits from massive economies of scale, let me put that in a very simple statement. That is, more you will use, less you will pay. Means I am using more resources, my resources will be, or my uses will be aggregated. And on the basis of that, I'm going to get some discount, or maybe I'll have to pay less price. Now, if you want to see that, you can open any of the pricing page of AWS. Okay, let me help you out. See, if I say AWS S3 pricing, let me open this documentation in front of you. And if I will quickly take you here in the S3 simple storage service pricing, you can soon see the numbers, you can soon see the figures. Why I'm opening this document in front of you? I'm opening this document in front of you because I want to share, more you will use, less you will pay. It means if you are using more, your users will be aggregated and you are going to get some benefits on the top of that. The benefits will be with respect to, for example, I'm saying I know that my services are going to run for 1 year, and I am looking for any plan which can provide me some reservation. So yes, there are different pricing options too. So you can see that here. For the first 50 terabyte per month, the cost, if you will see, that is $0.023 per GB. For next 450 terabyte per month, the cost is $0.022 per GB. Means more I am using, less I am paying. That is benefits from massive economies of scale in a very simplest term. Okay. Let's quickly understand other advantages too. So other advantages which I have mentioned, one is stop guessing the capacity. No need to guess the capacity anymore. No need to talk about how many resources you have to procure in advance when you are not sure about your business continuity. So you can simply ask for the resources whenever you feel there is a need, whenever you feel that you have to get the resources. So making a capacity decision prior to deploying an application, it can be often up in expensive idle resources or dealing with limited capacity. Means either I can be in a situation where my resources are overutilized, or it can be a situation that my resources are underutilized. Okay, so in that particular case, it's better to come up with a strategy where I don't have to guess the capacity when I'm not sure about it. So that is another advantage you have. Increase speed and agility, this one I have already explained you. So when you get your resources easily in less time frame, it means that it is significantly lowers the cost and time to experiment and develop. If I have to do some proof of concept, if I have to test my products, and for that I need some servers, so I will get my resources in a lesser time. I can experiment more, I can develop more, and I can come early in the market. I can launch my products early in the market. And I can also go ahead with the customers' feedbacks. Okay. Stop spending money. running and maintaining data centers. When I am not owning anything, why I will pay money in maintaining that particular infrastructure? Very simple example you can take from your day-to-day life. I am doing a job in IT, and my job is like that. I'm going to get a location change in every 6 months. Okay, so for that, I'm just renting out a flat. When I'm renting out a flat, at that point of time, I am not owning that flat, so I am not the in charge of paying maintenance for that. So similar thing is here. I am not owning the resources. I'm using them virtually. Physically I am not having access to those resources, but virtually I have. Virtually means over the internet, and your entire cloud computing is based on this virtualization. So virtualization enable you to start in cloud computing. As I'm not accessing the physical resources, physical servers, I am accessing the virtual machines, virtual servers. So I don't have to worry about spending, running and maintaining the data centers, and go global in minutes. So, see, like the one thing or one common goal which every industry has, that is a customer satisfaction. And in order to provide customer satisfaction, we want to provide them good performance. Okay. If there will be latency, there will be delay, then it will lead to bad customer feedback. So example, if my users are globally dispersed, if I have globally distributed users, at that point of time, I need my infrastructure either to be provisioned in different locations, or maybe I'm planning for disaster. Because you should always be ready for disaster. You should always have a backup plan. You should always have a business continuity plan. So any cloud provider is providing you the opportunity that you can provision your infrastructure in any of the geographical location. Okay. Now we are here to talk about AWS. Okay. So if I have to define what AWS is, it's a Amazon Web Services, which is a broadly adopted cloud platform which offers you over 200 fully featured services from data centers globally. Globally means around the globe in different locations. Okay. Now, when you are seeing this number, there can be a quick question in your mind: do we have to learn all these 200 services? I say no. You don't have to learn all these 200 services in the starting. Start with basics, start with fundamentals. Okay. And as you will proceed, as you will grow more, start looking into a particular track. Okay. So now, if I have to start in AWS, let me put a question. The question is, if you have to start your journey in AWS, what do you need? What do you need? If you have to start your journey in AWS, what do you need? Can anyone tell me? Okay, let me wait for 1 minute. I'm looking for quick answers. If we have to start our journey in AWS, if we have to practice AWS, what we need? Anyone? Give a try. You want me to start a timer? Development account. Okay. One answer I've got. What about others? Do you agree with that? Do you agree with that? AWS account, free tier account. Very good. Very good. Okay. Let me take a word from your answers. You are correct. We need account. Why account? Account for what? Account for practice. Okay. Whenever you want to practice, whenever you want to start something, a question comes: do I have to invest a cost, or am I going to get something free of cost? So, keeping that in mind, AWS has an account type, or I will say an offering, that is called free tier. Now, first thing which you have to keep in your mind by seeing this keyword free tier does not mean everything free. If that is the understanding, I will say that's not a correct understanding. Okay, you would have a correct understanding, but if we think that free tier means everything free, that's not true. So if I have to define free tier in AWS, it's an offering in AWS. But this offering is giving you a quota. Quota means a limit for a certain time period. Okay. Without so you have to keep in mind two keywords, either quota, either time period, or either both. Means there can be a limit involved, there can be a time period involved, there can be both the things involved. Example, if I'm talking about any storage service, if I'm saying you are going to get 5 GB of storage for 12 months of time free. Okay, what's the meaning of that? I have involved a quota. Quota means I will only get 5 GB of storage free up to 12 months. After 12 months, if I'm storing more data, I will have to pay charges for that as per the standard pricing rates. Okay. So if you have to explore AWS free tier, you can use this link. AWS free tier. Okay. This will give an idea about free tier offering. So if I will open this, you can get an idea about AWS free tier from here. Okay, if you want, I can just paste this link here in the comment section. Or you can simply type over the internet AWS free tier. Okay. So see, if you will see this AWS free tier, you can get what are the types of offerings you have. You can have a free trial, you can have 12 months free, or you can have always free. Okay, what this free trial, 12 months free, and always free, let's understand that. Free trial means short-term free trial offers start from the date you activate a particular service, that is free trial. 12 months free means enjoy the offerings for 12 months following your initial sign up date to AWS. And always free means free trial offers that don't expire and are available to all the AWS customers. Okay. Now don't get confused with always free. Everything free and always free are two different things. Always free means till the time you are an active AWS customer, there will be a quota involved that you are going to get free of cost. Means till the time you have an active AWS account. Don't worry, I will guide you how to create an account in the AWS. Okay. If you want to explore these offerings more, just apply a filter. So soon you will see that this particular page will be loaded with the set of services. Okay. So I can apply a filter on the basis of these free tiers offerings, which is 12-month free, short-term trial, and always free. So consider short-term trial means before trying anything, you are getting something on a trial basis. Let's say I have to use a machine learning service. So I'm saying if you have to start using this machine learning service, I'm giving you a 30 days trial. Use this 30 days trial, and after that, you can start using this service. Okay. 12 months free means starting from the date. Let's say today I have activated my account. So starting from today till next 12 months, I am going to get certain offerings free of cost. And always free, as I told you, till the time I have an active AWS account, I am an active AWS customer, I can enjoy AWS offering. Okay. Let me quickly refresh this page. Okay, here you will. Okay. In the meantime, what I can do for all of you, see, like when you have to create an account, you need some references to use AWS account. The thing you can do, there is a very good blog. Simply type AWS account creation knowledge center on the browser. Okay. And it will help you out to open this one. Create and activate an AWS account. So this is a blog you can open, and this blog will give you step-by-step instructions. How do I create and activate a new AWS account? These are step-by-step instructions. You can take it from here. Okay. So what you will need if you are really planning to practice services in AWS, you will need an account in AWS. Okay. When you have to create an account, you need three things. You need email ID, you need password, and you need a payment method. Now, don't worry about a payment method. Payment method is just for the verification purpose. You will not be charged anything. Initially, you would be charged, let's say, 2 rupees, but that will be refunded immediately. Okay, that is for the verification purpose. So till the time you are not breaching any limit, till the time you are not breaching any quota, you can use free tier account and you will not be able to get any charges in your account by AWS. So remember that. Okay, now if you want to see like what are the valid payment methods when you are creating your account, I have another very good blog for all of you, that is learn payment methods AWS. Okay. If I'll type this on browser, again, it's going to give me a blog on Knowledge Center. Okay. Don't worry. In my upcoming sessions, I am going to guide you for long run practice. What are the important documentations and what are the important links available which you can use to start your career in cloud computing. Okay. Today, we have an introductory session to the cloud computing. So, see, what payment methods does AWS accept? So, you can read it from here. These are the accepted payment methods. Means if I'm talking about India region, I can say credit and debit cards issued by Visa, MasterCard, or American Express. Okay. So this is a block for how to create and activate your AWS account. And this is something where you are going to get the idea about what are the valid and accepted payment methods. I hope we are good, everyone. Are we? Have we got an insight? Have you got the insight about creating and activating the account or the accepted payment method? Can you give me a quick confirmation, everyone? Okay. Now, I usually get this question from my participants. Sometimes I have seen that if you are in your college or if you are doing your graduation, okay, you may not have a debit card or a credit card. Okay. At that point of time, I have seen participants face a lot of challenge, like while registering or by creating the account. So I will suggest them you can use this. There is a program you can register. Let me help you out. This is a program you can register for. Okay. So this program, AWS Educate program, is going to give you a path on different tracks. Okay. And as a part of that, it's going to give you the access to AWS for certain exercises. Okay. So they will give you an account, a kind of a sandbox account where you can perform the set of instructions as a part of exercises they have taken for this particular program. So those who are in college, those who are students, those who don't have payment methods with respect to debit card and credit card, for that also there is a resolution. Okay, so don't feel disheartened that how you will practice. Let's say if you're enrolling for any course, if you are learning something, if you don't have the valid payment method, how you are going to practice AWS. So you can enroll for this educate program. Okay, so that was about creating and activating AWS account. Okay, that's it. Now, next thing which I will talk about in front of you, that is different service models in AWS. And before that, let's talk about what are the cloud computing types. Okay, so let's quickly take that. So if I talk about cloud computing types we are categorizing into public, private, hybrid, and community. And one more I'm taking in front of you, that is multi-cloud, just for the extra knowledge. Okay. Now, what these public, private, hybrid, community clouds? Let's discuss that. I believe everything comes up with some pros and cons. There will be pros associated, there will be cons associated. That's the reason for a single work to do, there are a lot of tools in the market. There are lot of things in the market which you can use in order to do a same set of work, a same set of tasks. Okay. So we need to understand what our requirement is and why I'm discussing that in front of you. When you start your journey in the cloud computing, You must be exploring over the internet what cloud computing and all other things. Okay. So you must be getting some names: AWS, Azure, GCP, IBM, Oracle, Alibaba. Okay. These are some cloud providers. Okay. Maybe you would have this question in your mind: why we should learn AWS? Why industries are adopting, or how industries are adopting a particular cloud provider? I have a very good answer for that. Okay. The answer is, if I have to be in a discussion with someone, I will say, let's talk from individual perspective first. I'll share my perspective. If I'm talking from individual perspective, what our needs? Our needs are good jobs, good opportunities, better hike, better package or salary. Do you agree with that? Do you agree with that? If I'm talking about from the individual perspective, these will be the needs of individuals: good jobs, good opportunities, better hike, better salary. These all will be the needs. Yes or no? Do you feel the same, or do you feel differently? You can tell me if you feel differently. I would like to get your point of view on that. My question is what I'm explaining you. I'm explaining you how to decide which cloud technology to learn, which cloud provider to adopt, and how companies are choosing that they have to choose this cloud provider to provision their resources or to deploy their applications. Better knowledge. Very good, Mahendra. Okay, great. Yes, so I have got few replies. Good job, good opportunity, better hike, better salary, and yes, good knowledge. That is always a goal of an individual. Okay. And if I have to fulfill this goal, now I'm talking from the job perspective, for example, I will check the numbers. I will check the statistics. This is a keyword I will use. Let's say I'm looking for job in India, okay, and in a particular location, maybe in a particular location, I will see the job descriptions and I will see the salaries offered by the companies. Okay. So I will focus on numbers, I will focus on statistics. For that, I'm going to see the surveys which has been put by customers why AWS is better. AWS is one of the leading cloud provider in the magic quadrant. Okay. So all these things I'm going to see, I'm going to figure it out. So being an individual, we focus on statistics, we focus on numbers, we focus on surveys. So these are the pointers which help us out to decide which cloud technology to learn. Because till the time you are not starting on any framework, you can't decide that it's easy or it's hard. Easy and hard, these two keywords are our perceptions only. We make the perceptions that why this particular thing is easy or why this particular thing is hard. If we are gaining interest into something, that is easy for us. If we are not gaining interest into something, that is hard for us. Okay. So if I'm talking from the individual perspective, so these are the pointers we usually consider. Okay. Let's talk from an organization's perspective or a company perspective. The organizations, other than numbers, statistics, surveys, they have more requirement. And what are that? Support, agreements, licenses. All these are major requirements. For example, if a company is already using Microsoft license, okay, or if a company is already using AWS license, okay, and other than all these things, numbers, statistics, surveys, they are looking if they will be into any situation, AWS is going to provide them a better support. They're already into some enterprise plan. If they're already into some enterprise plan where they are going to get 24/7 support, they will choose that particular cloud provider. So these are the things on the basis of which an individual decide, an organization decide. So whenever you have this question comes into your mind, that which cloud provider to choose, which cloud technology to learn, and how companies are adopting a particular cloud provider for running their day-to-day work, for their day-to-day business, these are the several factors which decide that. Okay, make sense to all of you? Makes sense to all of you? Do you agree with that, or do you want to add something else here? Tell me. Do you want to add something? Please give me a quick confirmation. Looking forward for your views. Okay. Maybe you can keep on typing in the comment section and I will check that. Great. Yes. So now let's understand the types of cloud. Types of cloud, if we have to talk about, let's start from public cloud. As a name is suggesting, public. Public means shared by many, or this will be a keyword which defines the public cloud. So in a cloud computing, if we have to define public cloud as one of the type, I can say it's a cloud computing that's delivered via internet and shared across organization. So this is a major keyword here. Okay. Means I am okay to share the resources, I am okay to share the services with other organizations, with other customers. Okay. So it's open to all to store and access information via the internet using pay-per-usage method. Okay. In public cloud computing, resources are managed and operated by cloud providers or cloud vendors. Means if I have to say I have less control. Control on what? Control on resources. Okay. Some of the examples we have AWS, Microsoft, GCP. These are some of the examples of public cloud providers. Okay. So if we want to share the resources with others, okay, if we are okay to use the services delivered by the internet, I can go for the public cloud. Okay. Now, in public cloud models, also don't make this thing in your mind and don't have this particular picture in your mind that in public cloud you can't achieve security. You can achieve security because in public cloud, when you are placing your resources at that point of time, they give you the options. That is, do you want to place your resources in a shared mode? Do you want to place your resources in a dedicated mode? Okay. But keep one principle in your life that is common with our personal life as well as professional life. Cost comes with comfort. If we are looking for more comfort, obviously the things will be expensive for us. Example, when I am talking about in cloud computing also, you have this option that either you can have your resources in a shared mode or dedicated mode. At that point of time also, if I'm looking for dedicated mode where I am not ready to share the things with other organizations, obviously I'll have to pay more. Okay. So let's see the advantages of public cloud. One advantage is no capex, as here I am not owning the infra. Okay. I am not owning the infra. I don't have to invest any capital. So no investment required to deploy and maintain the IT infrastructure. Technical agility, so high scalability and flexibility to meet unpredictable workload demands. Means here I'm getting better use of my skill sets. Okay. If you have to understand this keyword, that is agility, means I am making better use of my skill sets. Business focus, I can focus more on my business growth here. I don't have to focus much on maintaining the infrastructure. Affordability, flexible pricing options based on different SLA offering. SLA stand for service level agreement. Means based on different offerings, I can have different pricing options which I can adopt, and I am going to get the affordability with respect to cost. Cost agility. So cost agility allows organization to follow lean growth strategies and focus their investment on innovation projects. So they don't have to focus on investing on infrastructure, investing on procuring the resources, spending money on data center. They can invest more on their projects. They can invest on their innovation projects. Okay. If we talk about disadvantages, so in disadvantages, there will be a lack of cost control. Okay. Lack of cost control with respect to pricing. I am not deciding the pricing. That will be decided by the cloud provider. So there is a lack of cost control. And minimal technical control. Again, if I'm saying there is a service which is going to provide you the support on Java, okay, and I am an Angular developer. In that case, I don't have a control. I am not deciding which technologies are going to be supported by a particular service that will be taken care by a service provider. So these are some of the disadvantages of public cloud, you can say. If we talk about private cloud, with private cloud, I will use a keyword called dedicated. And if someone asks you why or where we need private cloud, I will say we need private cloud when we are having some security, some compliance, okay, some constraints. Means I want to keep my resources. I want to have my application as a part of my own infrastructure. Okay. So private cloud is also known as internal cloud or corporate cloud, or you can say it refers to any cloud solution dedicated for use by a single organization. So here you are not sharing cloud computing resources with any other organization. Some example is private data centers, let's say HP data centers or Ubuntu. These are some of the examples of private cloud. So when you are having your dedicated facility where you have resources for your use, for your dedicated use, you call that facility as a private cloud. Okay. If we talk about when to use it, I told you when you have some sensitive data, when companies require strong control and security over their workloads, large enterprises that require advanced data centers, and organizations that can afford to invest in high performance and availability technologies. In that case, you should choose using the private cloud. In terms of advantages, the major advantage is custom security. You can customize your security. When you are designing something, you have more control. So I will say more control you have. Okay. So exclusive environment, dedicated and secure environment that can be accessed by other organizations. Custom security, scalability without trade-offs, efficient performance, and flexibility. Okay. Now don't need to worry about these high-level keywords. In short, if you have to take an idea what private cloud is offering you can say that more control we are getting from private cloud with respect to custom security, exclusive environments, scalability. Scalability means meeting the change in demand, meeting the change in unpredictable traffic. Okay. And if you talk about disadvantages or drawbacks, price, it will be expensive. Now think about it. When you are dedicating something for your use only, cost comes with comfort. Remember my principle. So you have to pay more charges. Mobile difficulty. What's the meaning of that? Mobile difficulty means, let's say, my facility is hosted in one place and I have an office in Pune location. Okay. So I will only be able to use the resources from my premises, from my network. If I will try to access the resources from any other location, if I'm not a part of that network zone, I will not be able to access that. And scalability depends. Obviously, scalability, when we talk about scalability, deals with resources, more resources when you need them. You should have a capability that when you need more resources you can procure more resources. Okay, so here how scalability depends, because I am the one who is going to procure the resources. If I am going to procure the resources, let's say in emergency I feel that there is a need of two more servers, maybe that will be a more time consuming task. But when we talk about cloud computing, cloud providers, the major reason or the major pointer about public cloud provider is unlimited scalability. You can get the resources on demand whenever you need that. Okay. If we talk about hybrid, hybrid means public plus private. In short, public cloud plus private cloud means here we are working in the hybrid mode. The best example to understand this is there is a company. Okay, company has 10 resources. Now what company wants to do, company wants to have some resources in their own facility, and some resources to be a part of public cloud. That brings to hybrid model, means private plus public. Okay, so here I can say that it is any cloud infrastructure environment that combines both public and private cloud solutions. Okay, you can adopt some cloud provider companies, again Amazon, Microsoft, Google, Cisco, NetApp. These are giving you the hybrid cloud opportunity, means you can have your own facility and you can use these public cloud providers in order to develop this hierarchy, in order to develop this architecture. So here the applications and data workloads, you can say, they can share the resources between public and private cloud deployment based on organizational, business and technical policies around different aspects. So these are some of the aspects I have taken. Let's say security, performance, scalability, cost and efficiency. So around these aspects our solution will be built and we can adopt hybrid cloud model or hybrid cloud infrastructure. Okay, great. Let's see what are the advantages of hybrid cloud. If we talk about advantages of hybrid cloud, policy driven options. You can decide what you want to keep in public cloud, what you want to have in private cloud. Scale with security. So here, as you are into both the approach, you are following both the approaches, you can have a custom security, means you can have the flexibility of a private cloud with respect to custom security, or you can enjoy the unlimited scalability given to you by public cloud. Reliability. Reliability means something that can be trusted in a very simple language. So distributing services across multiple data centers, some public, some private, results in maximum reliability. And also you can understand reliability means the ability to come up and running in case of any disruption. If there will be any disruption, your model should be able to come up and running. So if you are having the services across multiple data centers, you can achieve maximum reliability. And when we talk about cost control, so here we have the improved security posture as sensitive IT workload run on dedicated resources, while our regular workload we are running on private cloud infrastructure. Okay. With respect to drawbacks, price will be obviously the drawback. How? Here, now you're adopting both the model. So let's say when you are toggling between public and private, it can be hard to track, resulting in wasteful spending. We are not using the word impossible. It's not impossible to track, it's hard to track. Whenever a word hard comes into picture, it means more management. Remember that. Okay. When we talk about management, strong compatibility and integration is required between cloud infrastructure spanning different locations and categories, and added complexity. So, additional infrastructure complexity is introduced as organizations operate and manage an evolving mix of private and public cloud architecture. So, these are some of the drawbacks of hybrid cloud. Okay. Any good question anyone has, or are we good till here? Are we good? Are we good? Or do we have any quick question? You can post your questions in comments if you have any question. Okay, great. Let me come back. And now let me give you an idea about community cloud. Okay. What community cloud is, just for extra knowledge, community cloud is something, an infra which we are designing for a community. Okay. Community which shares common needs, common requirements. Example of government institutions. There are various government institutions in India. Okay. They might be requiring some common needs. They might have some common goals. So I can procure the resources on the common servers. That is a community cloud. Okay. And one more keyword which I had used in front of you, multi-cloud. What multi-cloud is? See, I will differentiate multi-cloud with hybrid cloud. In hybrid cloud, there is a requirement there should be at least one private cloud, at least. In multi-cloud, there is no such requirement. Multi-cloud means multiple public clouds. There can be multiple public clouds, like a mix of public plus private. There can be multiple private cloud. Okay, so multi-cloud, as the name is suggesting, multiple cloud providers. Okay, example I will give you from industrial perspective. See, I'm working in an IT industry, and my company thinks that these services of AWS will better fit into my requirement. These services of Azure will better fit into my requirement. So I am creating a multi-cloud infra where some services or some resources I have deployed in AWS, some resources I have deployed in Azure. Okay, that is a multi-cloud. Okay, let's move towards some demonstration. Let me show you one demonstration which I have planned for today, and then we will plan our further discussion. Okay, some differences in security between all three cloud. Yes, I can talk about. See, when you talk about security, if I have to explain you from security perspective, I will say security is a mutual responsibility. Mutual responsibility means whenever public is coming into picture, means you are provisioning your resources somewhere. Okay, you are provisioning your applications on some others infrastructure. So that is a mutual responsibility. Mutual responsibility always says that some part you are responsible for, some part cloud will be responsible for. So cloud is responsible for their global infrastructure. You are responsible for what application, what data you are adding in the cloud. And for implementing security, we have a lot of features. For example, I'm planning to adopt AWS. If I will say how we can get security in AWS, we can use policies, we can use encryptions, we can use firewalls, we can use rules, security rules. So all these things I can implement at different layer in order to incorporate security. Now when I am signing an agreement, okay, let's say I'm planning to start my career in AWS as an industry. Okay, now I'm signing an agreement with AWS. There is always a privacy law for any company. Similar is there with AWS with respect to your data. Okay, so let me show you. If I talk about this data security in AWS, for example, okay, you can see data privacy. So if you have frequently asked questions on data privacy from security perspective, you can always refer to this section. You can see these are the FAQs. What is the customer content? What is account information? Who owns customer content? Who controls customer content? A lot of resources. We have data privacy center. We have privacy features of AWS services. We have Amazon information request. We have some privacy notice. When you are owning something as a part of private cloud, you are responsible for your own security. You need to incorporate laws for your dedicated usage. When you are adopting a public cloud, they have privacy laws, they have privacy agreement, and in the public cloud, security is a mutual responsibility of a consumer as well as provider. Okay, make sense? That makes sense. That answers the question you have related to security. Can you give me a quick confirmation? Okay, let me now come back to the next pointer I have. So today I'm planning to show you one demo. Demo on what? I understand and I always believe if I am starting something and I'm not ready to invest cost, I am in free tier account and I know that I'm going to get some quota free of cost. I'm going to get some services or features free of cost up to certain time, up to certain limit. Why not to be cautious? Cautious in the sense I am going to create budgets and I am going to set the alerts. Okay, so how budgets and alerts can help you out? Budgets and alerts can help you out. If something is wrong in your account, you can be alerted and then you can take the actions corresponding to that. So let's learn together how to create budget in AWS. Okay. Now, when you create your account in the AWS, this will be your landing page. This landing page is called AWS Management Console. Okay. Management console is a web interface. It's one of the way to interact with AWS services. So whenever you're creating an account, you're using your email ID and password, you are considering yourself and you are acting as a root user. Root user means who is a powerful user. Okay. So in the next session, which is on tomorrow, I'm going to talk about how to enable multi-factor authentication as a part of our AWS account. So multi-factor authentication is an additional layer of security which we can put other than the credentials which we are providing. And there are other best practices too which we will talk about. Okay. But for now, for today, let's say I'm ready with my account. I have my account set up and I have logged in using my email ID and password. So this will be the landing page. I'm going to come to this particular page. This page is known as console home. The first page is known as console home. In console home, you can add various widgets. Let's say recently visited section, AWS health, cost and uses, trusted advisor, explore AWS, and lot more widgets. Okay, if you are new, simply click on this add widgets option and you can see all these possible widgets here. So these are some additional widgets which are not already there in my console home. If I want, I can add that. Okay. So I will suggest you to add the widgets as per your usage. If you are a fresher, if you are starting for new, this recently visited will be good for you. If you scroll down, you can add the one for the cost and uses, and you can add one for the explore AWS and also for the latest announcements. Okay. This will help you out to keep up to the date if you are interested on a particular service or on a particular track. Okay. Great. Let me check. Means private slash hybrid cloud available in AWS. See, when you're talking about private slash hybrid cloud available in AWS, when I'm talking about private is something you are owning. Private is something maybe you're outsourcing it to someone for your dedicated use. In that means you are the one who has to decide the security laws and policies. You have to decide the security protocols. So what kind of security protocols you can decide? You can have some privacy laws, some data protection laws. You are encrypting your data on daily basis. You are having firewalls at operating system level, at the application level, at a service level. You are talking about taking the regular backups. You are talking about taking the snapshots. You are talking about when you are storing your services, the data should be encrypted. So in private cloud, you are responsible for security of your infrastructure. I am talking about in public and hybrid. In public, I am outsourcing or I am using the services virtually. Example is AWS, for example. Okay, there can be Azure, there can be GCP. So AWS has its own privacy laws. AWS has its own privacy agreement. And apart from that, AWS provides you the set of services which you can use in order to secure your infrastructure. Similarly, in case of hybrid model, in hybrid model, we have private and public. So for private, again, you are responsible for security by yourself, whatever resources you are having in private infra. For public, whatever model you are adopting, you will have to understand the privacy law. So for public, security is a mutual responsibility. Okay. Another question says, okay, we have some predefined security policies we have to maintain. Very correct. When you are owning something, you will have to maintain that by yourself. And in hybrid, yes, that is mixed. Again, in hybrid, for private part, you will have to ensure your security laws. You will have your privacy laws. In public model, you are again going to adopt the privacy laws provided to you by public cloud providers. So can you see that? That's why I had opened this article. This is an article. Here it is talking about management services too. You have a service called IAM in AWS, which is used for managed authentication and authorization. Who can access? What can access? Encryption services means to scramble your data, to encrypt your data so that your data will not be compromised. Okay, great. Is AWS proving private infra? See, if you are talking about AWS for your use, you are a customer, AWS is a provider, AWS is acting as a public cloud for you. if you will try to understand from the AWS perspective, AWS can have their applications which is deployed in their infrastructure. For them, if they have their applications deployed in a dedicated infra, they would be acting as a private data center or a private cloud provider for being their dedicated users. Okay. So that is decided on the basis of who is using, what they are using. I'm a customer, I am using other services. For me, that is a public cloud provider. If that customer is hosting their own services in their cloud infra, so they are using their private data centers. Okay, great. Have you got the reply of your question? Okay, thanks. Let me now talk about setting up the budgets and alert. Okay, so when you create your account, this is the account name you get. This is the account name. I had set this account name when I was creating my AWS account. When I will expand this, I will go to billing dashboard. Simply click on billing dashboard. And here in the billing dashboard, you can see various options. One is budget, another is cost explorer. These are the two options I would be interested in. Okay. Let me talk about these two options. So when you will create your account, you can go to this billing and management console. And how you can go it to here? You can simply click on your AWS account name and you will be navigated here to the AWS billing dashboard. Okay. So see, there are few things here. I will talk about this one. Cost management. This is a section I'm interested in for today. So in cost management, I have cost explorer, I have budgets. Okay, these are the two sections I will explain. Let's start with budgets. Okay, what I am going to do, I am going to create a cost budget. What's the requirement? The requirement is I want to be alerted if something is wrong in my account. Let's say if I have spent some cost, okay, I want to get alert so that I can take the actions. So you can see I already have some budgets in my account, okay, and these budgets are in the exceeded mode, means threshold is exceeded, warning. So I am getting alerts for these budgets. Let me clean all these budgets. For example, you can have multiple budgets. I'm cleaning all these budgets for you all, and we are doing it from scratch. If you're a first time user, you will see this section empty. Let me delete it. Okay, so you will see a screen like this, no budgets. Create a budget. When you always click on create budget, there are two options. Do you want to use a template? Do you want to customize it? If you want to use a predefined template, there are some templates which are available here. Zero spend budget, monthly cost budget, daily savings plan coverage budget, and daily reservation utilization budget. Okay. If you want to explore that, you can. I will create a customized budget as per my need. So I'm going to customize budget and I am going to create a budget type as cost budget. This is something I'm going to create. Okay. You have other budgets too, uses, savings plan, reservation, but that will be for later purpose. Okay. Let's say if you are a part of an industry and if you have to guide them that how they can plan their uses, how they can plan for the savings plan, and how they can plan for the reservation budget, they can use this one. But for our knowledge, we are creating a cost budget. Okay. You can read about it. It monitors your cost against a specified dollar amount and receive alerts when your user defined thresholds are met. Okay. So I'm scrolling down and I'm going to next. And from here, I can see the budget preview. So this is my account uses. So I can see this graph. It is showing me what was the uses, let's say in month of February, in month of January. Okay, so that I can get a picture. Okay. Here, these are three steps which I have to keep in my mind. I have to enter my budget details. I have to set a budget amount and I have to scope my budget. Okay. So enter the budget details means I'm defining the budget name. For example, let me set a budget name So I'm saying my first cost budget. Any name you can set. That's optional. That's your choice. Okay. Now I have to set a budget amount. For that, I have to select a period first. Let's say I'm selecting a period as daily. I prefer to create a daily budget so that I will be alerted on a daily basis and I will not get any shock at the end of the month that this much cost I have got from AWS if I'm keeping my resources running all the time. Okay. Again, in the budget renewal type, you can have a recurring budget, you can have an expiring budget. So, recurring means, let's say today I've created my budget, I want to have it recurring. Expiring means I'm providing the end period, okay? Start date or end date. If you will choose this, you can see this one. I am going to create a recurring budget, which I'm doing right now. My budgeting method will be fixed, okay? And I am going to enter my budgeted amount. Let's say I'm going to enter a minimal amount, $0.01, okay? This is the amount I'm entering. Means I can spend daily maximum 0.01. And on the top of that also, I am going to set the alert. Means when my budget or when my usage is exceeding a particular limit from this amount, I want to be alerted. Okay. It is showing me my last 30 days daily average cost. Okay. So it's showing me the cost of my account. Okay. And that is 0.01. Let me take a very quick question in the chat. It's past a year. I have been using an AWS account. Can I set up a budget which will incur me zero cost for the free resources I will use? Okay. If you already have an account you are using like for 1 year around, yes, you can set up a budget. You will be alerted if you are going to get some uses more than $0. Okay. Obviously, now your 12-month offerings will not be valid anymore, but you are applicable for the other free tier offerings. Let's say always free or short-term trial. Okay. But yes, you can create a budget. And if I can use some free security policies, okay, that's it. Let me come back here. My budget scope is for all the AWS services. So I am looking for all the AWS services. I don't want to create a budget for a specific AWS resources. If you want, you can choose this option. And there's always an advanced option. I'm not going into that. It's talking about some unblended cost, means you're aggregating the cost by these factors. Okay. Now, if you want to really understand this, let me help you out. If I will open AWS Budgets User Guide, whenever you have to read about any particular service, type the name and say User Guide. Okay. And it will open this documentation here. In this documentation, you will be able to see the budget user guide. You can see creating a budget. When you create a budget, let's say I'm customizing a budget. I'm using this option. Okay. And under this particular option also, let's say I'm creating a cost budget. You can see the options, step-by-step instructions from here. You can see this thing. Okay. What is blended cost? What is amortized cost? You can see this. Okay. If you want to understand it, if you want to explore more about it, I can explain you. So blended cost is a cost of instance hours that you used. A blended rate does not include either the reserved instance upfront cost or the reserved instance discounted hourly rate. Okay. So if you are starting, no need to go into all these things. But yes, for your knowledge, if you want to understand, let me go back. I'm keeping the option as default. I had chosen whatever I wanted to choose. Now I am creating the alert. Okay. I am adding the alert. Alert says I want to get the alert when the amount will reach 10%. Okay. Means if I'm mentioning 10%, can you read this? When your actual cost is greater than $0 of your budgeted amount, the alert threshold will be exceeded, and I am going to get the alert on the provided email ID, which I will enter here. Okay. So in the notification preferences, let me add the email recipient. I'm adding the email recipient as my email ID. Okay. And finally, I will go to next. I can review whatever settings I have provided here in terms of budget types, in terms of budget details, in terms of configuration alert. And finally, I'm saying create budget. As soon as I'll click on that, I can see my budget got created. Okay, currently it is in a okay state. Okay, now it will evaluate and says then I am going to get the alert on my email ID. Okay, so what do you think? Is this enough to create the alert? Is this enough to create the alert on your email ID? What's next? What you are going to do next when you have got the alert? Anyone has any idea? Let's say you have got the alert. What to do next? Let me wait for the answers. Looking forward for the replies. What to do next? Let me check. Okay, this will alert. Okay, but after getting the alert, do you need to take an action? I need to take an action. Very correct. I need to either clean my resources if I don't want them. If I want to keep them as a part of my account, I can take that budget as an informative budget, okay, or as an information to me. Now, how to take the action? If you have to take the action, you can go to this cost explorer present under cost management. Okay, so go here in the cost explorer. Again, I'm talking about this particular section. From this particular section itself, I have selected budget, and from this particular section itself, I'm selecting cost explorer. Okay, so let me come back here in the cost explorer section. And soon this section will be up and running for me. Let me take that. Okay, so if you are a first time user, it will ask you to enable cost explorer, and you can do that. You are not going to get any charges for that. It's always a better practice to enable cost explorer. So again, if you are first time user, you should enable cost explorer. Now, what is this cost explorer showcasing to me? If you will see this cost explorer, you can see that here in the cost explorer, the first section is my cost summary. It's talking about my current month cost. It's talking about my forecasted month end cost, means based on my daily uses, what will be my forecasted cost at the end of the month. Maybe I will get $1.95 if I'm going to have my uses like this only. Okay, if I'll further scroll down, I can see this graph. This graph is telling me my uses on a daily basis. Let's say on March 2nd, I had spent $0.03. On March 3rd, I had $0, and that's a reason my budget did not exceed. Okay, if I had spent more than $0, I should get alert on my email ID. Okay, and these are all the reports. I can view all the reports from here too. Let's say view all the reports. Click on that. So I can see these reports: monthly cost by service, monthly cost by linked account, all these things. Okay, I'm not going here. I want to show you. If I'll go back to cost management, how to check that. For that, click on View in Cost Explorer. This is a section you will see here. It's a great section. This section will help me to decide what is wrong with my account. Okay, what is wrong with my account? Here I can, let's say I want to check which service was generating the charges to me. So let me select a filter in the dimension as services. Okay, so this graph will be loaded for you. And if I scroll down, I can see on March 2nd, these were the services which were generating the charges for me. Okay, now you can see something in others, $0.02. That is in others. Okay, if I will scroll down here, I can also get an idea from here. What were these particular date? Okay, so you can always check for a particular date. Okay, this is for particular date. Let's say in March 1st, there was a service called Route 53 which was generating the charges in my account. On March 2nd, I did not had a charges from any of the service. On March 3rd, even I did not had any of the charges. Okay. You can also filter it on the basis of region. In which region? Region is a location. This is a drop down from where I can select the geographical location in which my infrastructure will be up and running. Okay. These are the regions. Okay. I'll tell you how to set the default region. So from here, I can get the filters. Now I got an idea, let's say, which service is generating the charges for me in which location. What is next? Okay. The next thing is I can take immediate action. I can go to that particular location. I can select a service. For example, if this was a service, it was generating the charges for me. I will open this Route 53 and I will go to a particular region. Okay. So this Route 53 is a global service, first of all. So this Route 53 would be charging you somewhere on a particular region. Okay. This is a DNS service, a domain system for your knowledge. So see, I got an idea which service is charging me in which location. What's next? I have to terminate the resources. Don't terminate the resources if you are not aware about that. If we are not getting an idea which resources are generating the charges for me. For example, they have given me at a high level that EC2 is a service which is providing us virtual machines, is generating charges for you. So I navigated to EC2 dashboard, but now in EC2, if I will go to EC2, I can see that in EC2 dashboard itself, there are a lot of features. There are a lot of options. Okay. Let me help you out. So my EC2 dashboard will be loaded. And I can see that there are a lot of features here. These are features of launch templates. Now I'm not sure out of these features which feature is charging me. How to get that idea, okay, and how to basically resolve the issues with respect to cost and uses. For that, the best part is create a ticket to AWS. Okay. So click on this question mark and go to support center. Okay. In the support center, I am going to raise a ticket to AWS and I will get immediate support because I have a live chat option. I have an option available for phone call. Okay. So see, if I scroll down, they have given me some articles which can help us out. I can say create case, for example. I'll not create a case. I'll show you how to create it. So my case is related to account and billing. Very quickly, why I'm creating a case? I'm not able to understand which service feature is generating the charges in my account. At a basic level, if you know that if servers are running, they will charge you in your account. So I have terminated my servers, I've cleaned my servers. But other than servers, what are other things in a particular service which is generating the charges for me? I can simply get a ticket and I can understand that from AWS representative. Okay. So when we create our feature account, we are not eligible for technical support. If we select this, we'll get an answer. Technical support is unavailable under the basic support plan. It's for extra knowledge. We're always under a basic support plan. If you want to see other support plans too, you can come here and you can see the list of support plans. So these are different support plans available. Developer, business, enterprise on ramp, enterprise. You can read about this. You don't have to purchase plans. Okay, these are chargeable. It requires subscription. That is just for your basic account. And under basic support plan, technical support is not available. Let's take this one, account and billing. Select a service. Let's say billing is my concern. I will select a category. Under category, I'm saying charge inquiry. It's a general question. I have only one option available in severity. Click on additional information. Mention a subject. Let's say inquiry about additional charges. Anything you can write. It's just an example. And here I'm mentioning unable to understand or relate which feature is generating charges in my account. Okay, just mention that and say solve now. So solve now, they will give you some solutions, they will give you some articles. Okay, these are some solutions. If you want to contact, use this option. And here I will suggest you to use the chat option. This is the fastest option, I will say. Okay, you can use phone if you want to get a call back, but sometimes the call get disconnected, so better go for chat option. And for web, you are going to get the response within 24 hours. So I'll choose a chat option. As soon as I will submit it, there will be a pop-up which will be open here. And this will be represented. So you can ask them which service, which feature is generating the charges for you. Okay. And they will help you out. They will help you out. This particular feature, this particular service is running in your account, and that is generating the charges for you. You can go back and you can terminate those resources. Okay. So you can see soon this chat will be active, and there will be representative who is going to attend my question. Okay. Let me take you here. You can see this window. Okay. So soon a representative will be there, and you can just raise your concern to them, and they will help you out. Okay. So basically, this is how you can raise your concern. If you want to explore that by yourself, obviously, you can get the alert. You can go to Cost Explorer, okay, and you can check that these are the services in a particular geographical location which is generating the charges for you. Okay, if you want to get the help from AWS representative, just create a case. In a case, mention your query, and then representative will be there to help you out. Okay, are we good till here? Anyone has any quick question till here? Gurvinder, I'll come back to your question. I got your question. Okay. For free tier, will it cost only when the instance are running right for more than 750 hours? See, for free tier, if you want to explore the free tier uses, free tier provides you the offerings on the basis of different types. We have 12 months free, we have free trial, we have always free. So you get 750 hours of compute capacity free of cost per month. So if your compute time is more than 750 hours monthly, you will be charged by AWS for that particular month on that particular resource. Okay. Got the answer? You can anytime explore this. Let you open this blog, and from here you can get an idea about different offerings in free tier, as I was explaining you before. Okay. Let me clear all the filters. Let me see if some filters applied. So yes, to answer your question, you're going to get 750 hours of compute capacity of EC2 instance for 12 months of time. Okay. You can see this. Amazon EC2 750 hours per month. Resizable in the cloud, but that is applicable on certain instance type or certain hardware configuration. Okay. Great. Now I can see there is a question by Gunvinder, that is the best way to learn implementation patterns between AWS and other CRMs. For instance, moving data between systems or storing app logs. See, there is a very good blog, AWS Solutions Library. Okay. This AWS Solutions Library gives you a solution which is discovered from AWS and AWS partners. Okay, so you can see you can basically discover these solutions designed by AWS and AWS partners. Organizations today are in search of solutions and architecture guidance to rapidly solve business challenges. And if you scroll down, based on your requirement, let's say you are browsing the solutions by industry. You have these industries. You are browsing the solution by cross industry, for example, customer experience. You're browsing the solution by technology. Okay, let's say your requirement is for storage. Just select this, and you will open that. You can see here you have different solutions available: resiliency and durability, cloud archiving, cloud native application management and control, throughput workload, storage for collaborative environment, storage for high performance workload. Let me open one of them. Let's say storage for collaborating environment. Always see these solutions which are present in solution library. You can see these are solutions. Read about this. Organizations with a dispersed workforce require speed, conflict handling, and efficiency, regardless of where they work from or where the data is stored. Okay, so you can see these solutions. These are the partner solution. Building a high-speed video editing environment for creative teams who work in multiple geographical locations, and you can view the guide. When you click on view guide, you get to see the implementation of this solution. Okay, so I will suggest you to explore this solution library. I hope that answers your question with respect to best practices. Navneet, I'll talk about how to change the instance type. So in the next session, we will have our demonstration on computing, okay, to launch EC2 instances and also to host index.html on EC2 instances. So from there, we can change the instance type while you're launching it, okay? I hope you are good, Gurvinder, regarding your question. Are we good? Okay, so do we have any quick question till here? Do we have any quick question till here? Or are we good, everyone? I have a lot more to share with all of you. Okay, don't worry about that. I'm going to help you out with a track, with a direction you can choose to start with in AWS. And one thing in your mind, keep one thing: there are a lot of free resources available. Okay, so why to spend money on purchasing some courses for some subscriptions and all when you already have a lot of free digital trainings available? When you already have a lot of free courses available. Okay, so go ahead with that. Start your track, start your career in the AWS cloud computing. So, first of all, understand the need. What is a need? Why I have to choose this? What is a purpose I am going to achieve after choosing this as a cloud provider? And then go for a particular direction. Okay. So, anyone has any quick question or are we good? Are we good till here? Okay, great. Now, let me have my last discussion that is on computing. I want to have a last discussion that is on computing. Okay. Before that, I want to tell you something. See, I always believe in design. For any system design, let's say there's an application I have to design. Let's say there's an application I have to design. If you ask me about fundamental components, I will categorize that into 4 categories. Okay, storage, compute, networking, and database. Okay, let me give you an exercise. Exercise is You all have to tell me one keyword for storage, compute, networking, and databases. What do you understand by all these? Storage, compute, networking, and databases. Give a try. So let's make this exercise. I'm giving you 5 minutes to think about it. And I will start a timer in my mobile. Okay. And I will stop a timer. I will see what replies you have given to me. My question to all of you, see, whenever we design any application, these are the fundamental components for any application design: storage, compute, networking, databases. Okay. I'm asking you to define all these keywords in one word. And I'm starting a timer. Your time starts now. 5 minutes with all of you. You have to give me one keyword for all these pointers. Okay. Storage, computing, networking, and databases. Okay. Let's see that. I can see 15 seconds are already over. 45 seconds over. You still have almost 4 minutes to give your answer. Looking forward to hear from you all. You can type your answer in the comment section. We have 1 minute 10 seconds over. Two minutes over, everyone. Let me check the answers. Let me check the comment section. Very good. Okay, very good. I can see some of you have directly pinged the service name. That's great. That's fine. So see, you can ping me a simple keyword too. Okay. Those who are aware about service, that's fine. Those who are not aware about service, you can ping me. What do you think? What do you understand by these keywords? We use that in our day-to-day life. We use storage, we use computing, we use networking, we use databases as a part of our day-to-day life. You still have 2 more minutes. I can see we have more participants here as a part of today's session. So give a try. One minute, 30 seconds left. Okay, let's stop a timer. Great. Thanks a lot for your participation. Let me put one word as per best of my understanding. If I have to define storage, I will say storage as space. Okay. Compute, processing, servers, networking, communication, integration, connection. Anything you can say. Databases, transactions, and analysis, or collection. Anything you say. So these are the fundamental components of any application design, any product design, and there are different AWS services under each category. Under storage, we have different AWS services. Under compute, we have AWS services. Under networking, under databases. So what we are going to talk about as a part of computing. So we will start our discussion in the next session on computing, and the first service which we'll cover in computing, that will be EC2. Okay, Elastic Compute Cloud. Elastic service. What does Elastic Compute Cloud? What does EC2 provide us? It provides us virtual machines. Okay. Now, every service in AWS has an identifier. For EC2, if I have to talk about what's an identifier, for EC2, the identifier is instances. Okay. So, instances is an identifier for EC2. So, here we are going to get servers. From this service, we are going to get servers. Okay. Well, let me explain two keywords as a part of my last discussion for today. One is virtualization and another is virtual machine. Okay. If I have to define virtualization, I can say it's a technology. Okay. Technology that you can use to create virtual representation of server, storage, or other physical machines. See, I don't have access to the physical infrastructure. I am not owning it. There would be some physical hardware somewhere in the data centers of AWS. I am getting the virtual version of that. It means it is a technology which create the virtual representation of server, storage, and other physical machines. Very simple example. Let's say on my machine currently I have Windows operating system running and I am planning to run Linux operating system on my machine. So what can I do? I can virtualize means I can install a software. On the top of that software, I can utilize the existing capacity of my machine to run various operating systems. So virtualization obviously are different types, but it is a technique to create a virtual version of anything. Okay. Now, what virtual machine is, if this question comes to you, so it's a software defined computer that runs on a physical computer with a separating operating system and computing resources. Means if I talk about this, you can say it is a software defined computer. And now recall definition delivery of resources over the internet. Start treating your infrastructure as a software. Okay. It is deployed or it is running on a physical computer. It is running on a physical computer and generating resources. Okay. So that is what with respect to virtual machines and virtualization. Okay. So I will keep my discussion till here only for today. Just want to make a quick check from all of you. Did you find today's session informative? How was your experience for today's session? Did you gain some information from today's session? Did you gain some information from today's session? Waiting for the responses in the comment. How was your experience? Can you share your experience with me in the chat, in the comment? From experience wise? Okay, great. That's it. Okay. So yes, we are going to have such more interesting sessions, okay, in the upcoming classes, okay. Yes, we will explore more. Don't worry. So basically, before the final day, you will have lot more things to start, lot more things to learn, and you will have a right direction, right path to start. Okay, you will get more insight. Don't worry. There are enough documentations available. There are enough good resources available, which is going to help you out to start on AWS to start your track. Okay, great. And we are going to learn together lot more things. Okay. Yes, I will be on mute. I will hand over the session to the organizer now. Please allow me a minute. Okay, so I'm done from my side for today. So we'll meet tomorrow again and we are going to explore more on AWS services. So from my side, thanks a lot for being a great audience, for being a great participants, and for making your presence here. So this was a valuable session with your presence. And thank you very much for all your responses in the comment section and for all your valuable questions. So thank you very much for today's session. We are done for today.
Great. Thank you so much, Jatin. It was such an interactive session. I could see a lot of participation from audience. I hope you find this session useful. If that is the case, please stay tuned and we will have a lot coming up for you. Let's connect tomorrow morning again.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Dipali. Thank you,
Jatin. Thanks
everyone.
all.